Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. Guess who's back? This episode is brought to you in part by Vuori, my favorite t-shirt company. They also make pants, shorts, workout gear that you can also wear as casual wear every day. Everything Vuori makes is designed to work out in, but it doesn't look or feel like it. It's so comfortable you want to wear it all the time. And in fact, I do. You can see me in pretty much every single video we've made for the last 6 months wearing Vuori t-shirts. If I'm wearing a shirt without a logo or anything from like a car event on it, that's a Vuori t-shirt. I literally have 20 of them in my closet right now. The stuff is incredibly versatile. It can be used for any activity, running, training, swimming, yoga, but also great for lounging or, if you're me, to wear to work. Vuori is 100% offsetting their carbon footprint and offsetting 100% of their plastic footprint by utilizing better sustainable materials for their products, which help empower your best active life. The clothing is incredibly versatile, comfortable, and durable, and designed to look great in everyday life, both in and outside the gym. Their website is easy to find the product you want. The sizing is true, right? And when you get the stuff and you take it out, you realize, wow, this stuff is very delightfully soft. And like when I wear it to the gym, it doesn't show sweat. I don't get sweaty. I don't like looking sweaty, especially when I'm on camera. If we're filming in the summer, it's really hot out. Looking sweaty is not a good look. The Vuori shirts I wear, which are called the Strata fabric ones, it hides sweat. It just wicks that sweat. You don't see it. It doesn't stain. You don't look wet. It's great stuff. Vuori is an investment in your happiness, and they're offering 20% off for our listeners for your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable, versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/tire. Now, it's not spelled exactly like it sounds. It's spelled VUORI. VUORI.com/tire, and you'll get 20% off your first purchase. Enjoy free shipping on U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. So go to vuori.com/tire, VUORI.com/tire, and discover the versatility and comfort of Vuori clothing. You guys know that I have a new job, right? I'm editor-at-large of Road and Track. If you follow me on Twitter, I talked about that. It's like a real job, full-time job. And part of that is these events, these Road and Track experiences. There is one coming up I want to tell you guys about. It's called Rally U. It's a quick one. It's up in the Seattle area. It's a 2-day event featuring beautiful Washington Pacific Northwest roads, 5-star accommodations, 5-star dining, and rally school at Dirtfish. Dirtfish is one of my favorite places in the world, and if you are going to do professional driving instruction of any kind, I strongly suggest doing rally school first, because you learn so much about car control. Like, not that the tarmac racing schools aren't very good. They are very good, and they will teach you racecraft, and they'll help you learn lines around a racetrack and feel what it's like to drive at the limit. But a rally school teaches you what it's like to drive beyond the limit, when the car's moving side to side, loose surface, weight transfer, all these concepts that really translate to other types of driving. So if you go to roadandtrack.com/experiences, click on that Rally U right there for all the info, pricing, the dates. They're in July. It's the second week in July. And come on down. Hang out with the Road and Track staff, premium facilities, 5-star dining, and a first-class rally driving experience with Rally U. Go to roadandtrack.com/experiences. We're also brought to you in part today by Evercoat Body Shop. This is a product that is great for home mechanics, great for professionals, right? And we give a lot of professional advice on the show, and some is a little more professional than others, but If you want your auto body work to look professional, use what the professionals use. Evercoat is the #1 brand preferred by professionals. Evercoat Body Shop products are easy to use, whether you're a professional or DIYer, with a variety of great products, always one that's right for your project. Works great on steel, fiberglass, and other substrates. There's only 3 easy steps to using Evercoat: prep, fill, and sand. That's it. The perfect mix guide makes it easy to get the right ratio of filler and cream hardener. It dries in about 15 minutes and sands up to 50% faster than the competition, giving you a flawless finish. Evercoat Body Shop takes the guesswork out of bodywork and ask for it by name at Advance Auto Part stores. Last but certainly not least, we are brought to you by Policy Genius. Listen, understanding the value of property is important, right? It is important. It's important to you, right? And when you're buying a home, you've got a lot to juggle. Policy Genius makes it easy to get insurance quotes from top companies so you can find your lowest price fast. This shouldn't be your job. It should be the job of professionals. And the best part about Policy Genius is they work for you. They don't work for the insurance company, right? So it's not in their benefit to take money from you. It's their benefit to get you the best price and fast. And home and auto insurance are on the rise industry-wide, so it's a great time to make sure you're not overpaying for coverage. It's the one-stop shop to find and buy the insurance you need. All you have to do is go to policygenius.com, answer a few basic questions about yourself and your property, your home, your auto. Policy Genius will show you price estimates for policies that fit your search. And the Policy Genius team can look for ways to save you more money. And if you like what they find, they will get you switched over for free. Customers who bundled their home and auto policies with Policy Genius saved an average of $1,250 per year over what they were paying. The Policy Genius team, like I said, works for you without bias or favor to any one insurance company. And even after you're covered, Policy Genius offers claim support and easy reshopping to find savings when it's time to renew. Policy Genius doesn't add on extra fees, they don't sell your info to third parties, and their top-notch service has earned them thousands of 5-star reviews across Google and Trustpilot. So head over to policygenius.com and get your free home insurance quotes and see how much you could save with Policy Genius. All right, folks, on this episode of the podcast, regular car reviews are in studio. Mr. Regular and the Roman are here. We've got news. We're talking about what their strategy is for producing a video. We're talking about funky JDM cars, and I'm learning about the Pao that Mr. Regular had because I just bought one for my wife, although we recorded this one before I gave it to her, so I didn't give that away, as well as the Toyota Sera he's been driving around. And we're talking about shit boxes. As usual, many, many types of shit boxes, as well as the cultural differences between where we are at in Los Angeles and central Pennsylvania. I love having these guys out here. It was great to see them and spend time with them. Mr. Regular and the Roman regular car reviews are on the Smoking Tire Podcast. Have you guys had this weird thing happen with Instagram recently where all of a sudden you're getting messages delivered to you that were sent like years ago?
Like DMs?
Yeah.
No.
I'd have to check.
Like all of a sudden I'm getting messages that were like, they're in like the hidden messages, like show hidden requests.
Yeah.
And I click show hidden requests and messages come up that are like 315 weeks ago.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Like fucking, like one was like, congrats on your new Focus RF.
Only you can prevent 9/11.
This is past Matt.
Might cut
talking
that.
to future Matt.
Yeah, it was weird as fuck. Yeah,
I'm not popular enough to.
So
get
requests.
those.
Oh, I can't load them right now.
I do have the hidden requests, but they're all very recent.
Every single one I get is just, you should do my WRX because my WRX is better than the other WRX because I got these things and I put them on. My mom tell me paid for half of it. My name's Eric and I live in Fountain Valley.
That's, that's
You should come to Fountain Valley. I can show you around.
Well, there are people.
You know what's in Fountain Valley?
What?
Fucking nothing.
Yeah?
Track homes.
Really?
You know, like the show Weeds, little boxes on the hillside. That's it. It's that.
Yeah.
But that is what every WRX person thinks. They think because of their particular set of mods that their car is a unique snowflake. And what you learn after driving 6 WRXs is it doesn't matter what you do to them. The result is exactly the same.
They all drive exactly the same.
It doesn't matter if it has 300 horsepower or 500 horsepower, or if it has Bilsteins or Ohlins or BC Racing coilovers. They all drive the same.
I'm so tired of Subarus. I feel sorry that I sold our previous camera car was a Forester.
Didn't you a Forester? Yeah.
Yeah. I sold it to my friend. Shout out to Corey Welton. She is a programmer from Delaware. She was also one of my college roommates during grad school. If you ever touched a Wawa touch screen, that's her code in there.
Like a Wawa convenience store, sandwich shop.
Yeah, made to order thing.
Yeah.
That's her in there.
Wawa's like a Subway if it was ever so slightly less shitty.
Yeah. It is. It's better. I had
it's
one
better.
before,
It is better
like,
than Subway.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
it is.
You get gas at a Subway, which is basically a Love's. So
That's a good point.
Yeah, right. Or what's the other one that Sheetz? Sheetz, yeah.
Sheetz.
I think Wawa is better than Sheetz, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is. Better food. Sheetz is you're drunk and you want to get in a fist fight in the parking lot in like...
Right. Wawa is you're drunk and you want to get in a fist fight in the ice cream section.
It's so... Pennsylvania is just... We are so hard R word about the...
Everybody is just very...
Zach is holding his hand over his face.
Hard R word. I haven't heard that one yet. It's a good one.
It was like me immediately self-censoring.
Yeah. That was good.
Everybody is so short bus about the Wawa versus Sheetz debate, and people still ask me up to this day.
Debate?
Because there's nothing going on mid-state PA. I remember you telling me that when you went to school in UPenn, the farthest you got deep into Pennsylvania is don't tell me, the KOP Mall, King of Prussia Mall.
No, we had to go further to shoot guns. We had to go into Bucks County for the handgun range.
Okay.
That was further, but that's about it.
Okay.
Occasionally, I would move units in Ohio and have to go all the way west, but I didn't really stop.
Did you take I-80 or the Turnpike? Did you go through tunnels
76. 76 west, the whole fucking way.
So you went through, the tunnels.
Yeah. Pennsylvania, when driven laterally, is far fucking bigger than you expect it to be.
Yep.
It goes on a long time.
And there's not a whole lot out there, and I live in the whole not a lot out there. So half the fun of just coming out here and hanging with you guys is to not be in Pennsylvania for a little bit.
That's why a lot of people move here.
That's why, people take the full next step.
Yeah, a lot of California residents were like, it's better being here than where I was.
Absolutely. I could understand
It's
that.
also expensive, which sucks.
Yes, but sunshine.
Pros and cons.
Sunshine is free.
Yep.
Sunshine is free. And you picked the right fucking day. It's nice.
Oh, it was a gorgeous day today. We walked on the beach.
Had a little Bill's burrito, some muffins.
Never disappoints. How did you learn about that place?
About Bill's?
Yeah.
How did I learn about Bill's?
Where did it enter your life?
That's a funny question. I don't really remember. I want to say... when there were other Cars and Coffees, it made logical sense that you would go to the Cars and Coffee, then take a lap through the Malibu canyons, and then when you come back down the hill, you sort of end up right there. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's just what happened. I think I just ended up there. And I think I found out they had good bagels, and they were calling Bill the sandwich Nazi, which I found funny. Because he was like... He would scream at you if you were on your cell phone. That's
interesting.
It goes back to like 2010.
Okay.
And he would yell at you if you were on your phone, and they started calling him the sandwich Nazi, which is why Spike started going there.
Okay.
And because Spike wrote the soup Nazi, and I don't know if you saw the script for the soup Nazis on the wall on the inside of Bill's. Yeah, it's around by the candy.
I saw the
I
reserve.
did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's how we found it.
It is removed enough from the LA area that there's just this beautiful sense of calmness.
That's Malibu. They charge
general?
extra for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace and quiet costs money.
Yes. In this fucking town? Yeah, it does. It does.
And the sound in this studio is so nice.
Also costs... No. That's my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law makes these acoustic tiles.
This is so
They're
wonderful.
recycled water bottles.
Oh, very
They're
cool.
excellent.
May I touch them?
Yes. Kirai Design Materials.
I love
out
it.
of San Diego. Ooh, yeah. Very ecological.
Nice.
Yeah. So, how's life in Pennsylvania, other than wanting to not be there for a few days?
Rainy, wet,
wet,
chilly.
All 4 seasons, they're all raging.
But the channel's doing well.
Yeah, we're not at 1 million yet, and we've kind of stalled at like this 800,000 mark, and that's where we sort of had that. I think I texted you or something about, am I really going to have to make the YouTuber face? And you're like, yeah.
You cannot beat the algorithm, unfortunately.
Yeah, I actually found that kind of encouraging to read you say that, of you either want a career or you don't. And so you kind of either want to, you can't finagle your way around numbers and around code. But also, it is still within your control to, within limits.
Well, like for a while you could, right? Like they change the algorithm constantly, and for a long time it was like, if you had subscribers and grew your subscribers, they would see your shit. You know, they'd watch it, they'd share it, more people would see it, more people would subscribe. But now they change how people get fed the videos, and it's really being in the recommended section is way more important than having subscribers. So
it's like, it feels like a return to like the In magazine, like getting into like Reader's Digest.
Almost.
Or
yeah.
The New Yorker.
But and the thing is, if you play the game, which it sucks to do because it's like dignity versus algorithm, right? But it sucks to do. But if either you play the game and you succeed, or if you don't play the game, it's not like you just succeed less, like you actively get punished.
Yeah.
So
like
bizarre.
they will choose not to show your shit to people who there's people who've subscribed to your channel and they say, I want to see this content, but YouTube won't even show it to them.
I got a DM this week from a guy who was like, I'm subscribed. I was not recommended shown any of your videos. He's like, but I'm getting shown Throttle House, who he subscribes to, and he's like, and he sent me a screenshot of 2 other videos that YouTube's saying, watch this, and he's like, I don't know who the fuck these people are, but they're just trying to push that content.
Yeah, so they push content that gets the most engagement. And the way to get the most engagement is to do this sort of formulaic thing. And that includes the dumb YouTuber face, unfortunately.
So we're going to do, when does this air?
Next week? No, week after.
Yeah.
Week after.
Okay, so by that time we're doing the GTO that we were riding. So it's come out by now.
Yeah.
And that is the one we're going to first try to say, like, this is point at it in the background. And I remember what you said, it has to be a selfie.
It doesn't have to be a selfie, but it has to like appear. It has to be.
It's so funny, Zach, that you're showing that picture.
That's funny.
Of me legitimately making fun. Because that whole thing was for a bit of making fun of YouTubers like 5 years ago.
Guess
I did
what?
that.
This is just your homepage, man.
That's
right. My homepage that Justin Bernash made for me. Yes. So now we have a website and everything's consolidated there, but like your old smoking tire, it just redirects to everything else.
Yeah.
But it does one thing very specific in that talk about like knowing how to play the game and how to play for future. And I'll never forget this thing that you told me and told everybody else who's in YouTube is to, as much as you can, get your money out of YouTube and not rely on Google Analytics as your only source of income. And part of what that website does is we want to own our own data and not have it be Google's and not have it be Apple's.
Yeah.
Justin looked at, and he reads a lot of books. He's almost like a Jocko Willink type character, but in the car world.
Analytics.
We rose that morning. The amount of clicks that guy gets for silence.
Yeah.
Hey, man, good for him.
The art of silence is very interesting.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so the website, we own the data now, which means in the absolute worst case scenario, being that Regular Cars is what it is, a very dirty car show, that if for whatever reason Google decides that's it,
Yeah.
And we still have
something.
everybody's emails that we can still contact people. Hey, here's what we're doing. Here's some more stuff. Here's where we're moving to. Rather than if you lose everything, you're out of the water. And it's odd because when we first met, I mean, like we were not making any money. Our point was almost to drive people away, to just be disgusting.
Yeah.
And now I'm in this weird part because a lot of the anger has left me as a writer.
That's good.
And also because, I'm out of the closet now. I am gay. And that is another unique thing in that
it's a new opportunity to be a new kind of disgusting.
Very much.
I have this bit about penis pumps coming up, about the GTO, of how it's something about...
You can get thrown out of Pennsylvania.
Well, the thing about penis pumps is that they don't actually make your penis bigger. What it's doing is the negative pressure is drawing lymphatic fluid into the foreskin, and like a blister...
They're fucking gnarly. You're actually like almost exploding your dick. Yeah. You're really playing chicken with the results.
It's like a Subaru guy just turning up the boost. Eventually.
No, I know a guy that made 600 wheel for like a couple weeks too.
Yeah. But I guess that's interesting because so much of your guys' early stuff clearly came from like, okay, these guys are not able to be themselves in their normal life, so they've created these sort of characters that's just like built up anger and filth.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And for the record, Nick is the straight guy. He has a girlfriend and everything. And stuff.
Congratulations on that.
The guy with the deeper voice and the beard who looks like more masculine is like, hey now.
Yeah. The guy who's like all super sensitive about everything isn't. Yeah, it's just weird.
That's hilarious.
And a lot of it is trying to understand that as a creative outlet, you want to be able to represent yourself as close to the id that you have inside of you without also giving the impression that that's all you are.
Right.
It's
That's got to be kind of a challenge because I know you said you guys have like people who quote your shit back to you all the time, which is like fun. But I mean, I guess to a point it's fun that it's making an impression. It's a funny bit or whatever.
Yeah.
But do they then like expect you to be like really disgusting people all the time?
I had this one kid. And
Take that as
I
a
was
yes.
at Too Many Games, which is a video game convention at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. I know the guy, Ryan, shout out to Ryan Schott, who owns it, along with the angry video game nerd. What's his name?
Rolf?
James Rolfe, yeah. And Ryan Schott's a car guy. And he said, hey, just come to the show. Here's a ticket or whatever. They got a great thing going on there. It's pretty much you pay $60 to shop for video games. That's the place where you pay like
Sounds like a really good
$300
scam.
for an unopened like gold cart of Zelda.
You're not going to play. You're going to shop and buy.
Yeah, I mean,
you can play.
I think
there,
those
too.
unopened Zeldas are worth like 5-6 figures, aren't they?
I don't think we're at No,
I feel
I don't
like
think
I
we're not
saw
even at
one.
4 figures yet, unless
No?
that was like a crazy outlier.
Zach, look up the most expensive video game cartridge sold. I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh, I bet that's, without looking, I'll bet it's Mother.
I would
I'll
bet
bet
it is that Nintendo game that was like Nintendo World Series or something.
I'm telling you, I think it was
the rarest.
Super Mario.
All right.
Super Mario 64 is now that's from
Heritage
July
sold a
2021.
9.0 rated 1987 cartridge of The Legend of Zelda for $870.
Yeah, dude. $870,000.
What kind of car can you get for $870?
Almost
Dude,
any of them.
Whatever car you want.
Basically,
Like
any of them.
any of them.
Oh, you can
You're
kiss my
buying.
whole ass for that money. You can shit in my dinner tonight.
World record for
you
most
see,
expensive video game auction is now 1.56
For that, I think that's for the whole auction, not for one
okay.
game.
Oh,
But like,
excuse me.
for $800,000, I will eat the Legend of Zelda
Yeah.
cartridge, like in one fucking piece. Like
For 10% of that money, I'd
Isn't that
put
crazy?
it in a smoothie and drink it.
That's
It'd be
fucking
great.
crazy, isn't it? $800,000 for a fucking Zelda.
And not even to do anything with it,
Is that
just
like
to have
tech
it.
Well, you
money?
can't do anything with it at that point. It's pure collectible.
Yeah.
You know the differences between a Zelda that you paid $800,000 for and one that you paid $42 for?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Hot loads of nothing.
Just like an E36 M3.
That's right. That's right.
And what is that one? A forgotten
Super
copy.
Mario went for $660.
$660,000. Donkey Kong was the Donkey Kong one right there. Donkey Kong. It didn't say. Doesn't say for Donkey Kong.
Look,
Yeah.
it's in one of those cases like they put comic books in, like it's filled with nitrogen or some shit.
It's like the tennis rackets you were talking about before.
Yeah.
The frame.
Yeah.
There are literally sperm banks that don't take such
That's
good care.
crazy. $870,000
Well, it's easier to make more sperm.
for Zelda.
Unreal.
How about that? Okay, so you're at this video game thing where you spend way less than that on video games.
Right. I'm just there hanging out with another YouTuber I know. Shout out to Frederick Knutson from the channel Down the Rabbit Hole. Anyway, he does like forgotten lore on stuff. You can listen to his videos and they're almost like podcasts.
Like podcasts, yeah.
He has this great one on Time Cube guy, which I remember.
Wait, Time Cube guy. That sounds familiar. What is that?
You and I were in college when this happened. We would have been, because we were in the college at the same time, same state, although we didn't know each other. This would have been, because Chris Baumgartner was my roommate, this would have been 2001.
I was there. So what the fuck is Time Cube?
Time Cube, unfortunately, was the schizophrenic man who had this old school website where he claimed that time is 4 dimensions and the Earth is a cube and it's rotating in 4 dimensions at once.
Oh, wow.
And he had this like crazy
The amount of
website.
drugs I was doing, I can't believe I missed this, honestly.
But the whole thing was people just started trolling him, and of course he fed the trolls to the point that some kids from MIT who were like, this guy's completely nuts, like pooled some of their money and had him speak at a like symposium, and were cheering and a little bit. It bordered the line. Do you remember the Pour One Out for Wesley Willis?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of like that.
Okay.
But although Wesley Willis rules, and this was just a bewildered old man whose brain was scrambled.
Yeah.
But had these things, and he would write long, angry responses to anybody who made fun of him, and sort of kept this up over the period.
Oh, this sounds like the
year.
Frederick Lambert, like the electric guy.
Oh,
Who is he?
He's this he's this fucking Tesla weirdo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he worships Elon Musk, and then Elon Musk sort of fucking flicked him like a fucking mosquito, and was like wah wah. He would have lots of screeds.
Yeah.
Wait, so the reason we were there is because I wanted to ask you about people who think you're these fucking weirdos in real life.
Right. So this one very enthusiastic young man came up to me, and he said, "Are you Mr. Regular?" Yes. And it was the usual, "Oh my God, I like your videos." And then it went into, he started just saying lines, and I said to him, "Yes, I said that." And then he started going, "Can you say blah, blah, blah?" And I'm like, "No."
Like, do the voice, do the thing.
That's what he said?
Dance, monkey.
Dance.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he said, "Say this," and I said the line. I just deadpanned it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, you got to do it right." And I'm like, "I'm not doing that." And then he said, and it was like there was something wrong. Like this person that he liked wasn't acting in the way he should.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, "No, I'm just not doing that." And now I'm going to talk to this guy.
Like, you know, I'm a human, right? I'm just a regular person.
Well, it's all those parasocial relationships. When you
Right.
consume people's content, they get to feel like they know you, but then it goes a step further in thinking that they have some sort of degree of ownership over your
totally.
person.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that they have the ability to say, "Hey, do this, that, and the other thing. It's for
Totally.
my amusement."
When people want me to fucking drive their cars at car shows, like all the time. People are like, "Dude, come drive my car." I'm like, "No, I'm okay, man. I'm just hanging out with my friends." And they get like annoyed.
yeah.
Well, it's that type of thing that happens on, say, like a Gordon Ramsay type of thing, where every restaurant that's in trouble thinks they're the ones who's going to be different.
Right.
Like he's going to come in here and he's going to say, "Don't change anything. I don't understand why you're not succeeding." It's like half the emails that we get, which are like "drive my car" sort of related, are because people felt like their car didn't get a fair shake when we reviewed it, and they think,
yeah.
"Oh, you didn't drive the right
you drove
one.
a shitty one.
If you drive my Bravada."
Yes.
the 944 people.
That's hilarious.
When I said it's like, yeah, it's okay, but it's just where it's like I'd rather drive a Miata.
Yeah.
And those were the people who said you drove the wrong one. And because I drove an NA one, all the turbo guys were, of course, but it's this and then this and then this. Like a book emails just comes at me, and I'm like, no.
But it's just tribalism. It's like, but I like this thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't like this thing? Well, you must have met a bad representative.
Sega Genesis doesn't suck.
Yeah.
You know.
No, the 944 is a good example too, because it's not. I mean, it's not a bad car for what it is, but that experience of front engine, rear drive, low center of gravity, good handling is available elsewhere for a lot less money in some cases, and certainly a lot less maintenance money.
Yeah, and also lighter.
And lighter.
Yeah.
And
I think that was something else I said. It's like 944s aren't as light as you think.
I think they might. What do they weigh? Do you know?
Consult the Oracle.
The Oracle says they're not as light as a Miata. That's for sure.
Yeah.
944 weight is 2601.
Okay.
That's not. Oh wait. And that's the first gen. The second gen 2932. Turbos 3000. And then turbos 87 onwards 3122.
All right.
So
I
not as light as
corrected.
Miatas.
No,
Miatas are lighter.
Yeah.
But they're all right, but there's definitely things to make fun of in a 9.4. They're not sacred.
This is a Patrice O'Neill line. It says, she is a solid aight. She ain't hot. She's a upper tier aight.
You can always drop a Patrice line on this show. UNAT, always.
Thanks.
The Bert Kreischer and I talked about Patrice for fucking 20 minutes.
That was a great podcast, man. I enjoyed that.
The tweet he was talking about, I don't know if you heard this part, but he was talking about the time Patrice tweeted at him and said he was doing big things. We found it eventually, and I put it on the Two Bears race car. So it's like this big.
No.
on the side of the Two Bears
You know what?
race car.
That is sweet.
Yeah, especially because the race car's for Tom.
Yeah. Wait, they're right.
Oh, delightful.
That's going to be very, very fun. He just gave Tom the car. Tom was really excited.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I'm on, I guess it's probably this week's episode.
I think so.
Is that this week's one?
They called it.
I called into their show from the fucking McLaren 675 or 765 LT. It was like, yeah, man, it's good. You know,
nice.
Loud ass car. I'd like to see you guys do that one.
The one what?
The McLaren 765.
Have you guys done many like supercars, exotic cars?
We did a 675 LT.
Oh, you did?
Oh, all right. Well,
That was owned by a tech guy from Pittsburgh who bought it for 200 large even.
It's a good investment, actually.
This was whenever that video was. It was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it was like a year ago.
He bought it from a I don't know if there's a name for it, like Ferrari guys who have the hats and the brands and all the thing and all the cars.
You just
Tifosi?
described a Ferrari guy.
Okay.
That's called just
what do
Ferrari
they call them?
guy.
Like Tifosi? They have like a name.
The
like
Tifosi,
super
that's like a Ferrari super fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this Ferrari guy had to buy enough Ferraris to be eligible for whatever was new that year.
Yeah.
So he sold his McLaren just to have some money to put towards this.
Buy a used Ferrari so he could get allocated a new one.
Yeah. So once
funny
he
how
got
that
that
shit
thing,
works.
You want to be in the fraternity or not, bro?
Yeah. So then he comes back to, I think Andrew was his name, the guy with the McLaren. Sorry if that's your name or not. And I enjoyed your
Nick's
car,
like,
and sorry for splitting the bottom scraper air dam out, which is like a $40 piece.
Yeah, that's
thankfully.
plastic. Yeah. That's a replaceable part. Fortunately,
Yeah.
Those cars are cool as fuck, though, aren't they?
Oh, they were great.
Yeah.
And then the Ferrari guy says, "Okay, I got my allocation and everything. I'd like to buy my car back I told you I'd give my car back." And he's like, "No, I love this. My car now." So no, I'd like to do. Yeah, I have no objections to more supercars.
Yeah. Call these guys up if you have your insane supercars. That would be fun.
Yeah.
What's really stood out to you guys recently? I saw there was a Dodge Caliber up there, and it just said "yuck" on the screen. That's fun. Is it more fun to like something or to hate it, though? It's more fun to hate it, isn't it?
That's creative. Yeah. I think I'm funnier when I'm pissed off at something.
Yeah,
we all are,
yeah.
I think.
And it's more fun to write because you're not worrying about feelings, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like if you're positive, you're trying to think of ways to not be so effusive that it seems like you're sucking kneecaps.
Oh, that's a good word.
Yeah, it's just you're trying
That's a good word.
to split the difference between being too sort of obsequious and not necessarily too.
The neon, I was
Is it
very
weird?
happy
Do you
about.
find that when you're more negative, people say that you're being more honest? Whenever I say nice things, people say I'm it's not interesting or you're bought off by the manufacturers. And then when you say something negative, it's finally someone's being honest. It's a weird phenomenon.
Yeah, that happens. And the only outlier to that is if I like something that's old and crappy, they said, I'm glad you appreciate such and such. If I hate something that's new, I'm glad you're honest. And if I like something that's new, you're selling out.
Yeah.
And like the happy medium to all that was prime built SW20s, which is when people say, what's one of the best things you've ever driven? It's a prime built MR2. Which I mentioned my buddy Bernash. That's what his business was.
Okay.
What he did, and he was got into road and track and everything else. When I don't want to say when car magazines mattered, but the gas station magazines. He was. I forget which one of he was in, but he was in that. So back before getting stuff from Japan was as easy as it was now. People were, and you remember this, just bringing the engines over.
Yeah,
because you could just
They still are.
Just getting engines?
Yeah, there's whole businesses about getting it. There's a bunch of places here in LA where you can just buy JDM engines on a fucking...
Fast and Furious 1 paved the way for that. Yeah. They really started that mom and pop shop thing, yeah?
Really?
No, I'm absolutely kidding. Absolutely kidding.
That was a good expression because I believed you. You delivered that with a dad-like...
I don't know.
My old boss used to hate that. He's like, are you being serious? I'm like, I am. He's like, Are you? Is the car on fire? The car's on fire, Jeff. He's like, I don't know.
You're good at that. You are really good at that.
No, the JDM engine in the MR2 was good. I remember this. I've driven them.
The Caldina?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Justin Bernash was the guy who brought him over and figured out how to do them and not blow them up, how to get 300 wheel.
Yeah, I drove one. It was fucking fast. It was really nice.
Yeah.
It was cool.
He did that in this little shop in Jersey. And built his business up to the point where he's making the maximum amount of profit. And then he figured out he was making more money just selling the kits. And like, here's how to do it.
Yeah.
If you follow these instructions, you're not going to break your car. Don't put any more boost than I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And do all this. You'll have your 300 wheel. Just change the oil and everything's good. And then he found out he was making more money. The margins were even better selling merch than doing all that. Because once he got his name out and became like the prime guy, you can't find those cars now. Everybody who has them hardly ever sells them because they're
expensive to buy.
Yeah.
And a good MR2 is like a $25,000 or $30,000 car, even if it's like good, not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like all these stories go, pandemic hits, and he had just bought his new shop, and so he pivoted and started doing those car giveaways, and figured out how to do it painlessly, and I knew him up until that. But I met him because I wrote an article, I think, for Road and Track about. He made this one car called the Mark 1.5, where he took, and I only have like a POV of this. It's AW11 with a Caldina engine in it, and the only way it can stay cool if it has a water-to-air intercooler for the turbo.
Okay.
But it stays within spec because MR2s have so much coolant because
it runs from the front all the way to the back.
Yeah.
So it's got time to chill out, literally.
Yeah. And I drove that, and that's a 300 horsepower AW11.
It's probably rowdy as fuck. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
And he said, oh, thanks for that article. Come by the shop. And then later on, I had an MR2. He fixed it for free.
So now this guy just does giveaways?
Now he streamlined it, and said, Brian, you want to hop on with us? And I was like, I don't know. And then, as the salesman he was, he said, I'll do all the work. You just come pick up the car.
Okay.
I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this now. And I was afraid at first that I thought that people would say, oh, you're giving away, you've sold out. And literally no one said that. They just said, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. What do people have to, is it going on right now?
Yeah.
What do people have to, how do you enter?
You just buy a mug or a digital download, but because it stays within the law, there is no purchase to enter.
Right, yeah. No purchase necessary if you jump through these 47 hoops first. If you write a 300-word essay and do all these things and a self-addressed stamped envelope and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
It's legal.
No, I know. Yeah, that's like how they work, yeah.
So at the time of a recording, it isn't going on now, but at the time when this is released, hopefully if I line it up right, it's a 500 horsepower. It's right in front of me, isn't it?
Pontiac GTO.
GTO.
Yeah.
Because I was so
2006.
Oh,
adamant.
that's the car. That's the giveaway car.
Somebody is going to win a 500
Oh, I
horsepower.
didn't realize that
The whole
was
point
car.
of whoever built this just wanted to make turbo numbers without a turbo. So it's the 6-liter LS2 with a huge cam and like
Heads,
compression and
headwork, yeah.
and long tube headers, and I got a little bit, reflective on what that Holden could have been in the U.S. because it's everything you want in a Corvette without New Balance sneakers and a wife that just wants to get wifed up.
It didn't have enough character, that car. It was just kind of like meh.
The
looking.
exterior design is so bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's 1999 styling, which is aerodynamic. It's that blobby thing. Is this people look at it and think it's a Grand Am or a Grand Prix?
It was pretty close to that.
And it sucks because it has it's a top speed of 180.
No, they drove okay.
Yeah.
Like even stock, they drove pretty nice.
Well, yeah, it's that it essentially inherited is wrong because GM literally gave them the name, and the name writes a check that the car can't cash. So if you called it something else, people wouldn't be coming in with decades of expectations of finally, hey, you brought this back, and now this looks like a European thing essentially where you let
Australia's Europe?
Yeah, well, I just mean the design
Australia,
style. It's like
Europe's prisoners.
European looking.
It's a subsidiary.
Well, they launched it here right as Ford did a throwback looking Mustang.
S197.
And so Ford kind of showed like, oh, actually, we can bring this old school style back, and GM was like, wah wah, fucking, with that.
Well, yeah, and instead it ended up looking and seeming like if you let a teenager build his own girlfriend. It's like there's no real refinement to it because there's no understanding of why people like the GTO in the first place. Like you get rid of the hood scoops and you get rid of sort of the more muscle car identity and just say, hey, here's this thing. It's loud. It goes.
But it's sold in Australia. It should sell here.
Well, Australia had a long history of the Monaro and the Commodore by itself.
And they didn't get the Corvette.
And the four-door one, the Commodore, if you look at the four-door one of that period, the two-door one makes a lot more sense. Well, they clearly did the four-door first and then made it into a two-door. Yeah. And it's like the 3 Series BMW. Like it makes more sense if you see both. But without the four-door one here, it just kind of was like frumpy. But they drive good.
They drive, it's from a country that likes to go fast and it has an opinion about cornering.
And they race fucking touring cars there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they race Bathurst. They have, what do you call it? V8 supercar. Those cars murdered in V8 supercar.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Sorry. Were you?
I was about to reflect, like, if it has a place now in car culture, it's for someone who wants to, or do the thing where you swap the Holden badges on and do that.
We see those around here.
You do?
And there's people, there's someone who imports body panels to turn them into the Utes.
Nice.
And there's a couple of the Utes running around as well, which is cool because they're like, they're left-hand drive. People leave the dash and shit alone. So you've got this Holden Ute that's left-hand drive, which you wouldn't see otherwise. It's
I saw
kind of neat.
A Ute today over on the PCH that had a license plate that literally just said 4. That it just
the F-O-U-R?
F-O-O-O-R-E. So it was like 4 zeros. R-E.
Probably just a golfer.
Probably. But I just kind of find it funny the amount of, like, because for me, vanity plates are a way for people to place you in a certain place. And for me, I guess I listen to too many true crime podcasts to think like, oh, my car is right here at a time where this thing happened. Yeah. And there's plausible possibility that, oh, I guess I just like hacked a bunch of people.
Here, when you're it's so much of a thing to have your car be like an outfit here. And you're in traffic so much, people they want to use their car as a style thing, as a home, as a way to make a joke or make a statement of some kind. And it's just a very LA thing. You see a lot of custom plates.
Every day is Comic-Con and your car is your cosplay.
Yeah.
It's that type of thing of you want people who see you to be you want that to be the most that they remember about their day.
Yeah.
That, oh, honey, like, forget what happened at work. You won't believe what I saw.
You won't believe the cheeky license plate I saw on a Tesla Model S today. It said F gas.
Oh,
Would you believe it?
Oh, dear. Oh, dears.
I'll be. The Tesla people have the worst license plates.
Do they? Somehow a boring person bought their way into a personality.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, you just described cars and coffee, by the way. Here, the worst new trend is the people who put their Instagram handle on the corner window.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Like they're a rally driver, you know?
Yep. We've had people on the show who want us to show that prominently in the video.
Which, to be fair to those people, is they actually are, like, a lot of them are sort of
micro-influencers.
Yeah, to a better, like, there are some
aspiring.
people.
You know, helping me have a job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right,
I
it's like
understand.
the trade-off there, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I get it because that's what 2022 is. Your virtual existence is somehow more important than your actual existence, and that
Welcome to Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and combine that with wrapping up your personality in your car as an outfit. Like the username is like, Stang Dude 48. Like, what if this guy trades up and gets a Corvette? Like, are you going to still be Stang Dude forever?
It's one of those things where if you're so tying yourself to the brand of car that you drive, I mean, part of it is you're stuck in this self-replicating cycle of trying to monetize your existence and then monetizing it in such a way that you're tied to the thing that you use to monetize it so that you can't escape it. It's like if you're a Mustang guy, you kind of have to be a Mustang guy forever. And I mean, that's more or less what you just said, but I realize that as a Mustang guy, he says with his fucking 2004 V6 that like the next one up,
the best one ever, by the way.
Yeah, that the next one up will probably just be like an S197 of just like doing something. Although part of me just wants like an easy car for once, of something where I don't have to worry about all the freaking bells and whistles and the things that are going to break down.
Bells and whistles on a Mustang.
The 2004 Mustang.
Yeah.
I feel this is so strange because I listen to your podcast at the gym a lot, and you have people talking about these high-end Porsches, and here we are just like talking about junk and like.
I mean, whatever.
Hey man, we have listeners that drive everything, everything under the sun. So
I mean, to me, those are gems, and those are the way that people view a Porsche or a McLaren or any of those things is the way I look at like an AMC Eagle or my Mustang, like my piece of shit Mustang.
You guys are really into the AMC Eagle.
I'm really I mean,
dude,
that's
I'm
my
a
dream.
fan. I'm with you.
That's my dream car because I grew up in one, and that's kind of how I learned to love cars. In that, over the course of long road trips where you're not necessarily looking at a phone, and I couldn't read in the car because it was making me motion sick. So you're just spending the time sort of feeling the tactile experience of a car and taking in everything, so that when I sat in it for the first time as an adult, when I'm pretty close to the age that my mom was when she had hers, that it was kind of this surreal experience of going back and trying to understand that, and it's way too dramatic for what the car actually entails.
Of course, but it's a very charming car. I kind of get why you like it.
But it makes me feel that it causes me to reflect on the certain things that you take for granted as a child, like the reflection that your parents have an exterior and an interior world that has nothing to do with you, because a parent is not the only thing that you can be. It's the most important thing when you have kids to be their parent, but also you have an interior world of your own that doesn't really affect them. Thoughts that you have, fears, concerns.
Yeah. Figuring out, like, learning that my parents were like highly imperfect was like a real thing.
Exactly.
Like, because my dad was very financially successful. My parents I've never seen my parents fight, ever. Not once. I'm sure they have, but it's never been in front of me. It's never been in front of my sister. And so, they've been married for like 45 years. you know, and they live in this fucking picket fence house, and my dad's career has always gone up in a pretty fucking straight line. So to find out that underneath there was like actual imperfections, which I didn't find out until I was like 30, was an interesting experience.
Yeah, because it's something where when you tell your parents you love them or that you call to say you're thinking of them, I almost feel like there's this recognition that you love them for the people they are rather than just for being your parent or raising you in a certain way. And so I don't know, like with the Eagle, it's tied so intrinsically to these warm feelings that I have about my mother and the effort that she took to make sure that we understood that we were loved.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just...
I need to put my children in a sport utility wagon.
And that'll learn them. That will learn them.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this in
Was
the
your
review.
mom indecisive? Because she's like, I like trucks and cars.
You should get the two-door Eagle. The Eagle fucking hatchback.
Yeah.
What's it called?
SX.
I don't know. It's the fucking coupe. It's the fucking safari joint. Yeah, it's fire.
Those things.
Look at that. That's awesome.
You lift them up
the
even
white
more?
one.
Yeah, lift it more.
Every one of those looks like it was taken in your fucking backyard, Brian.
Hell yeah.
Every one of
They
these.
really do.
Rural Pennsylvania.
This is the official car of Western Pennsylvania.
That one literally
And
looks like it was
19
at the boat launch.
Yeah, that one
filmed
looks like it's the center card for one of your videos.
Nice.
Honestly.
It's so... Oh, God, I love it
needs
so
like
much.
a 302,
That's great.
a case of Bud Light, and just rip it through
Yeah.
Come on,
campgrounds
dude,
for like
Yingling.
a week
This is
straight.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
you
That's pretty good.
That car says
Scope County piss
sexual
water.
harassment. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, a couple more of these pictures. I'm going to end up on my screen.
have-
Official carve. She was asking for it.
The official car of I have 3 marriages at once, and I'm not from Utah.
The official carve. Peeking ain't cheating.
The official car of my parents let me drink growing up.
Wait, I
The
didn't
official
realize
car
there
of
was.
I have a stool at the strip club.
Is that one modified in the center, the limited coupe, or was there really a Landau roof option?
I believe there was.
Or
Don't
look
quote
at
me
that
on it.
thing.
That's got a fucking El Dorado opera window on the
Yeah.
fucking back of
That
it.
is,
And that was from
ugly.
the age where you could say, I want blank.
Yeah.
Like, all right, it'll
So
cost this.
That's an
Yes.
81.
And we'll do it. Yeah.
And look, it's
Wow,
got
it's
hella
7 years
fogs
since.
on the front of it, too. And I literally mean the brand hella,
Yeah.
not like many. Not like a Boston many.
The person who drives that is the type of guy who bids $1 after the previous guy on Price is Right.
Fuck that guy.
And I don't mean $1. He bids $1 more than the
Yeah,
previous
yeah.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the
that drives me
fucking
nuts.
worst.
That's the and I get-
5202.
I'm like, at least get
dick.
some middle like wiggle room.
Grow some balls, Terry.
Yeah, if you're gonna say 500, don't say 501. Say 515 because it's not. At least then you're giving a cushion.
Which would you rather have, though? The hatchback with the louvers or the fucking wannabe Cadillac Eldo?
Louvers.
Louvers.
This looks like a
Louvers, right,
240,
Louvers.
but if it worked out and went
Yeah.
to jail for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's like a 240Z. that went to
Did you
jail.
have a Safari 240?
No, I had a 911 Safari.
I mean, on your show. Or
Oh, I
and-
drove it. Yeah, I drove
Yeah.
one. It was like a real one too. Like the guy was doing Peking to Paris in it, and he finished.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's
it was
cool.
fucking badass.
That
It
is
was
so
really
cool.
cool. 240s make excellent safari cars.
Nice.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that fucking
Might have
thing.
still- yeah.
It's awesome, and it
Oh.
was fun as shit.
And you don't, it's not precious. I mean, well, I guess 240s are a little bit precious.
No,
now,
this
but-
one was. I mean, if you're doing Peking to Paris or something, that shit is
Yeah.
not precious. You're doing 8,000 miles off road or
Wow.
something. I think the cutoff was 73, 73 or older for that event.
You also
Okay.
filmed this, 5 years ago before they really started going up in value, I think?
Yeah,
It was a while ago.
I mean, it wasn't a particularly valuable example, but it was built. I mean, they probably had 75 or 80 grand into the car. I mean, had a cage, it had a fully built engine and a crazy diff.
That
and
is
all these
cool.
rally computers and
legit.
lights.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
All right.
extremely legit. Yeah, you should buy an AMC Eagle.
Yes.
What's stopping you?
Because here's the thing: I live in a condo. Because it's not that I can't get a house. It's that I don't want a house because it sounds like an enormous pain in all 3 of my assholes, and I don't want to deal with any of it.
Well,
And
aren't you popular?
Well, can you guys can you get a shed?
I probably could.
In Western Pennsylvania, you guys could get a shed. It's
I
not
think
that
if you talk
expensive.
to our friend Greg, he'll let you
You
have
just
a
need
spot
you
in
just need a shed.
one of his warehouses that he bought.
Yeah, one of his many.
Where land is cheap. Shout
What
out
is the best AMC Eagle coupe in the world go for?
12, maybe?
What's a really nice one on Bring a Trailer?
Well,
And while we talk about that, I just want to. It's over by now. When this came out, my Sera auction.
Oh yeah, for the
what it went
25
for.
people on Patreon watching. So how come you're selling that thing? Just
I've discovered
time for a new thing.
Okay, a bunch of things, and it came out in the video that this wraps up into being out in the car world. That a lot of the ways and looking, and now my buddy Ted Stoltz would say, "Oh, as the author, you can't self-criticize or self-analyze yourself as the primary source of what you're talking about." But looking back, most of my car choices as the fun car have been a way to express being gay when I wasn't ready to.
Interesting.
So the Falcon, with its nice curves and its subtle headlights and taillights and tiny little fins in the back, mixed with the Fox Body driveline, was sort of a reverse of how I am in real life. In real life, I pass for straight so
You were actually
easily.
thinking about this at the time, or do you think this was a subconscious thing?
self-analyzing.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So it was, but inside I'm a total softie and a bottom and all that sort of stuff. So, but the car that I was driving was the opposite, kind of soft and curvy on the outside, and then I'm ripping burnouts everywhere. And also, it was a way to have something that I thought was very beautiful and present that to homophobic men at not to knock Carlisle events, but Carlisle is mid-state PA, where there's a lot of people who said, "Oh, if ever faggot comes up to me, I'll punch his fucking lights out."
Like totally unprompted.
Yeah, like introducing that into the conversation.
You were just thinking about
Just
that.
putting that out there into the ether in case anyone dares to be gay.
I have literally overheard that exact conversation happening before. I'm like, were you just thinking about
By
that
the way,
randomly?
the chat 20 minutes ago was talking about how no one is probably homophobic in Pennsylvania, and one guy chatting. We're happy to have you listening, but he was like, "I drove across Pennsylvania with my friend who was gay, and no one looked at me." It's like 20 minutes later, like, here's what the part of the state you missed, dude.
Yeah. You drove across PA. You didn't stop anywhere. Yeah. There's a lot of people, and my friend Ben, who moved to my county, deep enough where we don't have emissions regulations in my county, so. You can, and even in Berks County, the law says catalytic converter must be with vehicle.
Holy shit.
So you can cut that motherfucker out, and as long as it's in the trunk, the guy will say it is with vehicle.
That's crazy.
What? Yeah. Now,
Do you think that
gonna
was written intentionally that way, or do you think someone was just
now,
a
I'm
fucking
quoting
idiot?
somebody at a shop who said that. Now, people, maybe it has been rewritten in the number of years since when I learned this, so I could be wrong.
Some lobbyist was like, we need to change this one word.
I know they repealed the helmet law in Pennsylvania for motorcycles because they did that whole thing where they attached it to funding for veterans. So
they
repealed the helmet law in 2001 in Pennsylvania.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because it was attached to a bill that they wanted to get through.
Yeah.
That's a big problem with politics.
So the Sera. The Sera is the last iteration. So it went from.
It's a funky car.
Yeah,
it went Sera to Pao, which is very gay, which I love that. But it was interesting.
The Pao is like, it's like almost like a Christian from Clueless. It's like on that level of
Nathan
Nash
Lane in the
Metropolitan.
Birdcage.
Yeah, the Figaro might be a little more gay because it's really cartoony.
Yeah,
but the Pao is practical gay.
When I had that Pao, it was interesting. The people who loved the Pao the most were the bro-dozers. I would intentionally park mine between two trucks with still rocking truck nuts with the big like rock star wheels pushed out on spacers on either side.
Funny.
And I would I got some pictures on my phone where I just parking in between. And one time I was at my gym, I'm like, I know where I'm parking. Park between one of these things. I come out. And of course, I back in, so it's like perfectly in the middle with this little cute round headlights and everything. It's so adorable. And I came out of the gym, and there were some other bro guys around with their big beards and big arms and tiny legs and everything else. And I go to walk to it, and this dude with like this the big beard and the cropped haircut was really tight up top and like
the Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
that's the Conor McGregor. Yeah.
Yo, dude, I love your fucking car. This is the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen, bro. And I'm like, do you want to drive it? Fuck yeah, I do. So I get in with this guy with his big fucking arms and his like halfway between man boobs and press, like the power lifter guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, this thing fucking kicks ass. And so we're driving around the parking lot. I had a 8-bit version of Dancing Queen on my mix playing with the windows down, and this guy was loving
this shit
it.
bumps, bro. She's fire.
What game is this from?
Turn this up. Sick.
Fucking hell, is this
How
Mega
funny
Man?
that I thought you were gonna say women, because here in LA, the Paos and Figaros, you know who really likes them? Rich women. Rich women I see like Malibu driving Figaros and Paos, in like Beverly Hills. It's like the charming choice for someone who's tired of their G-Wagon. It's it's very, very interesting. I'm shocked you said the meatheads. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Some people, my friend Jess said, I think they like it because it just makes their truck look even bigger when you park next to it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I like a girl with really tiny hands. Yeah. Make my junk look huge.
It's the Manscaped razor. They're just like, oh, I like to be really short. I like to cut it really short.
I have a cock pump, but I'm not gay, bro.
What do you mean my dick pills are placebos?
I bought them at the 76, not the Arco.
Yeah.
I buy dick pills, the ones with the big rhino on them, and that's fucking Darth Vader.
You ever taken to that weird gas station shit?
No, have you?
No,
that's,
I don't know. It seems
Brian
weird.
Redband, like Joe Rogan's old producer, he used to buy that, and Joe was like, "You're out of your fucking mind, man." Because they tested.
Did he ever report back anything that was in it that was real?
No, but
make your dick fall off?
But people have
like
tested them.
Sawdust capsules or something.
Well, some of them had actual Viagra in them, and some of them had like just caffeine and whatever. Yeah. It's just what a crapshoot. Yeah. What a crapshoot.
Yeah.
It's funny if they actually are crushing up Viagra and putting them in that shit you buy at the gas station for $3. That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
The Sera. I want.
That'd be a great name for him.
Yeah,
it's just Jack and the Beanstalk, but it's just one dick.
Yeah, it's one.
And like for some reason it has multiple ball sacks coming up.
Sell the cow.
That's like
it's coming
Jack's
at
Beanstalk.
the top.
I'm telling you, your merch game could be upped.
It could be.
Like you could. Your shit. You just have stuff that says regular car reviews on it, but you guys are all kinds of ideas.
Gas station dick pills. Regrow your foreskin today.
Take it back, freedom.
Did your parents torture you as a baby? No.
Take it back for the troops.
But this is a wreck dick, and it just says "Made in America." And that's the.
It should be like a bulldozer, but it has a big fucking. The bucket is a dick.
Yeah.
Just. The Sera is a weird fucking car because. Other than the doors, it's really just a Toyota.
When you drive it, it drives like any other 90s Toyota you ever driven.
Yeah.
Don't
Michael, yeah.
Is the Toyota Sera the Michael Sera of vehicles?
Was he in Kick-Ass, or was that? Am I thinking of
No,
someone
that
else?
was Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, okay.
He's in Superbad.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other things that are probably better movies than Superbad, but not really.
I mean, he came to fame in Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Right. I've driven both the auto and the now the manual, and I was vibrating on the elliptical machine when you had Doug DeMuro on, and you brought me up when he was talking about Seras, and he thought that there never was any manuals. For a brief second, he's like, no, I think they came in automatics. And I'm like, what you're talking about? This is the real one, and I know exactly it's a C55 transmission, and they made 1,009 of them out of these 15,900 something. I was so deep into the Sera.
Is it like a Paseo under there or something, or a Tercel, basically?
I am going to get
Paseo.
so...
It's not a K car.
Was it the competitor
it's just a
for
small...
the 200 SX?
This is the, you know, when you get into that deep level where I'm just brimming with knowledge of having owned one of these and all the peculiarities and the wonderful engineering that went into the Sera. And
what is the wonderful engineering other than the fucking doors? Like, what about it? They look kind of cool.
You remember how, like, your one of your lines, Matt, that I love the most is that you said the best DeLorean is a picture of a DeLorean.
Oh, yeah.
And that is such a good line.
Well, I know. I said that when I sold my DeLorean, I got a painting of the DeLorean, and I found out that they're exactly the same thing. Yeah. That is true. It is. I look at it in my gym every day, the painting of the DeLorean. I'm like, had one of those. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So,
the Paseo and the Starlet. Okay, cool.
Same floor pan, suspension, steering, and I think engine up above.
But it's front wheel drive though, right?
Front wheel drive.
Okay, yeah. The Starlet is the rear wheel drive one.
Starlet's front. Is it?
No, Starlet's rear wheel drive.
Let's go
I
to the
saw
videotape.
one at the thing, and I think you can drop a. Starlet is also 1.3 liters,
Front.
or the Starlet Turbo. I'm
both.
thinking.
No,
Both.
they changed it.
Front and rear.
Front and rear.
shit.
73 to 84 rear drive, and then 84 to 99 front drive. Yeah,
Yeah.
buddy. We're both right. Okay. So, mechanically related. Okay, so what is the crazy engineering about it then? The doors are butterfly. That's kind of cool.
They found a way to make everything you want in a DeLorean, because of course I wanted a DeLorean so bad. Thank you for taking the hit for all of us mortals out there and owning one and learning as good as it, and having one of the best, that stage 2 thing you had.
Yeah, it was good.
And I'm like, this is great. And at the same time I'm driving like, this is as good as it's ever going to get.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Because,
we drove
like,
the one that sold for $250,000 on Bring a Trailer that had the Kia Stinger swap
Yeah.
in the back. That was actually quite good. This lunatic named Steve Maxwell in San Diego built it, and this dude Nick owns it, and he was a fucking nut. He's great, and they took a lot of time and a lot of money to re-engineer the entire fucking car, and it took years, and it took, you know, deep in the six figures to fucking do it.
Wow.
But they ended up selling it for like $240,000
That is
on Bring a
amazing.
Trailer. And it was fucking quick too. It was like 500 plus horsepower. It was awesome.
Wow.
Shout out to Josh from Saskatchewan for Ellis DeLorean. He is now in business as the Ellis swap guy for DeLoreans.
See, that seems like a good idea as long as you do the rest of the car.
And he's now doing the rest of the car.
Okay,
The
yeah.
one-eyed thing had the stock brakes and
Yeah, that's
yeah.
super sketchy. This guy with the Kia one managed to get Ferrari 348 Challenge brakes on there, and it actually did work. What
So
else?
the Sera is everything you want in a DeLorean without a DeLorean. It's
The
just a
actual
Toyota.
DeLorean, yeah. It's actually good.
The doors are like, okay, everything that's made is up to Toyota. Like angry 1990s, we're better than everyone. Everything's super over-engineered.
Yeah.
We have all the money in the world.
Let's
Japan's
just
doing
throw
great.
at everything at this car. This is going to be fantastic. It's going to be sold at like Toyota cherry stores only, as this sort of like, you just became like a salary man, but you're still a bachelor, but you want to get married really quick, and like all the Deep Sera people
You
in my
look
video
and
came
dress
out.
like everybody else.
Yes.
But you want to fuck something.
Oh shoot! I wish I could have. I got to keep in good position because I have the brochure, the double page full size. It's this wide when you open it for the Sera.
Oh, I
These
bet.
beautiful pictures. The downside of the Sera is its headlights, because it's one of the first cars that had projectors and was designed in '89. They're horrible.
Oh.
I fixed mine, and is it okay that I keep doing these like shout outs to people who helped me?
fuck.
Okay, thanks, man. To Dial Dynamics, who gave me some fog lights with the help of a guy who owns a Nissan Z shop.
Oh, so you have to add fog lights to like get auxiliary lighting going?
Yeah,
oh,
it
that's
did
funny.
have factory fog lights, and they were all yellow. So like almost
You know what the
rally
move
style.
is? Light pod.
Light pods?
Safari style light, full fucking. I'd like to build one of those into a rally car.
Sera?
Safari style light pod. No, it's front wheel drive. It wouldn't be a fun rally.
If you roll it, might be a problem.
Yeah.
No, on the roof it would, but not
That's
on the
what I'm
front.
No, if you roll it and land on the roof in a rally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
what-
that would be
yeah.
a problem. Yeah,
One of the fun accessories, they did make a ski rack for those things.
really?
And what they did is you got to hang the skis off the back.
It goes- like
so
on
the tips got to go at the front, at the very front, and then but they just hang the tails. So your bindings are going to be like way over the back.
Oh my God,
So
that's
they did
funny.
make those.
Is it nice to drive, or it's just like any Toyota?
Any Toyota you've driven. The seats are a little bit never for Americans. So remember how it took a while for your seats to get broken in on your RS?
Yeah.
That I had to do like the reverse hyper and a bunch of like that back extension at the gym, just because like my back was all weird. But then once I broke the seat in, it's fine.
And you're like thin. If it was me, it would be a problem.
Oh yeah, it'd be a big fucking problem for me.
Yeah,
I'm a fat American.
You're
Not
6'1".
good. I'm 6'3".
I'm sorry, you're too tall.
Oh really? I'm not getting in it.
Unless
tall to ride this
like
ride.
I have a friend. Oh no, I'm balking.
That's
Tim
okay. Let's
Strickland?
assume,
Jeff Weissman.
let's assume he's
Sup,
tall.
Jeff? He was able to drive it, and he's 6'2", but he's one of these guys who's all torso and arms. So he was able to drive that by straddling the non-adjustable steering wheel in that thing.
Oh, that's where I have problems. The S2000, non-adjustable steering wheel, it's a real problem. My Ferrari 328, also, that's annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that one's like a delivery van. It's
Yeah, because that's
angled.
Ferrari. Luckily, they went that way with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it like, so how long have you had it for?
A year.
So it's not, so the excitement wears off is what we're saying here?
What we're saying is that this was the last iteration of having something curvaceous and girly and gay for me to express my sexuality through cars. And now that I'm comfortable being myself, I don't need this thing.
So what are you
And
going
now
to
you
get?
drive a fucking
Brodozer
Charger.
with truck nuts? Go the other way.
I bought a 2000 4Runner. Third
yeah,
gen
that's
4Runner
basically.
as the new camera car. I found one with 74,000 miles on it.
Oh, that's good. That'll last you 1,000 years.
I think I'm going to drive this for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have it undercoated completely, like PR15 with
Gonna
a top
want that
coat.
undercoat.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. You want that undercoat.
Put 35s on it and a refrigerator in the back and a rooftop tent, and you go totally the other way with this game.
Oh yeah, they look like I'm happy with the third gens because now everybody went crazy with Land Cruisers, and as you said, rising tide brings everything up.
No, those 4Runners are worth money.
And I know this is old man, but remember when they were just disposable 4x4s?
Yeah, and then everyone learned you can't actually throw them away because they don't break, and everything else broke, and they went, oh shit, what if we buy these again?
Yeah.
My friend has like a 2006 he bought new that he could sell right now for almost what he paid for it fucking new. I mean, 15 years later, 17 years later.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like, it's a joke. It's crazy.
They're not fast at all.
No,
they
they're
go like,
particularly slow, actually.
And the transmissions kind of suck, and they
Yeah.
still suck.
what goes on with the transmission? I need to know.
No, they're durable.
The
It's
gearing
just-
is really, the gearing is really long, and then I drove a new one, or a new Tacoma, like, what's that, 3 years ago? And it was still at the same 6-speed. And if I was going up any incline more than 1%, it would downshift to 5th, but it didn't have the power for 5th, so it was just like constantly hunting for gears.
No.
Like, it
Yeah,
needs shorter gearing.
yeah.
And you probably have a 4-speed with like overdrive or something, so
yeah,
it's probably
fourth
even
is
worse.
overdrive. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so you're not going anywhere.
And stock, the third gens came with 410 gearing in the back. So even on like 66 miles an hour, and it just sits at 2,000 RPM. Like driving to Philly, even though it's 70 miles an hour on the PA Turnpike, I'm just gonna sit here, ride my ass, buddy. My bumper's steel, yours is plastic. What are you gonna do, dick?
I love that game. When I drive the Delica, the top speed is 70.
Nice.
And it cruises in like the middle 60s fine, but you can't make a pass. You know, if someone in front of you is going 66, you're also going, so you're not going to pass. So like it actually is mentally kind of refreshing.
Here we are.
To go to it's the
we are.
here we are attitude. Exactly. Yeah, until you get to a hill and then oh god. What's coming up behind me and how fast and who's going to kill me?
On the plane ride here, I was listening to your story about that one cylinder
Oh, the Packard.
that the bridge story.
Yeah.
I don't want to like rehash.
Did you see
the
the photo?
I saw the
The
photo.
photo is like
That's a great photo.
Well, it is an amazing photo, and I think the guy's name is Evan or Ethan who shot it, and he sent me the large file, and Larry Chen is going to print it up into a
cool.
poster for us on his plotter. But and Zach will get the photo now. It's one of my favorite photos like ever taken of us, and fortunately, what you're seeing in that photo is the downhill. So we were going.
That is.
We were still going pretty slow.
I love that. That's like
It's a box social.
Stop 5.7 at the most.
So we were still going pretty slow in the downhill because right after where this photographer is standing at the bottom of the hill, there's a pretty sharp curve to the right. So you couldn't just like rip it down the hill.
Dude, when you told that story, I was listening to this 2 days ago. I stopped looking out the window and just stared forward at the bulkhead. Like, I'm like, oh wow, this is serious.
It was sketchy. It was really sketchy. And so it was but on the way up the bridge, because the bridge was up and then back down, Zach and both the other dudes in the car had to get out and help fucking push. It was not great.
We've been doing that all morning, but every hill.
Bystanders were kind of okay with this thing, like they were generally, or
I don't know, Zach. How were the people behind us acting?
I think 80% of the people that got stuck behind us or saw us were like, "Oh, look, it's a cute old car." Anyone who couldn't see the car, was like, "What the fuck is holding up all this traffic?" And they ripped past us later, passing like the line of cars we were still holding up. Yeah. Got a couple of middle fingers and just some angry people driving fast. And the scariest thing was going down the big hill. The second scariest thing was when angry people would pass us in a new SUV that weighs like 5,000 pounds and we're on a fucking Matchbox. Yeah.
But going downhill.
What are the brakes on that?
So
are they wood that
fingers?
Just press on the wheel like a bicycle?
It's not even. It's a cloth band. That tightens around the transmission.
Like an old school elliptical machine.
Like the little thing that just you stand and it vibrates around you.
Yeah, the thing that vibrates your fat away. Like
exercise bike.
Well, like old exercise bike, you just turn that knob and it would just press a piece of rubber into the wheel. Like
that exact
that would be
thing.
better than this.
It's so shady. And so there was one hill. There's three big hills really that you had to go down, and the first one had a curve right in the middle of it. So you had to take the curve at like 22, 24 miles an hour, which was really scary in this car. And it's in gear and you're engine braking, but it's still just accelerating. And there's the hand brake, and also a foot brake.
Which wheel does it brake?
They both do the same thing.
Front brakes or just rear?
Only rear. And so to use the handbrake, it's stronger, but it takes the car out of gear. So there's a big lever, and if you pull it, the car is in gear and goes. And it first engages the clutch. I'll just sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry. It first engages the clutch and then locks into gear. And if you push it forward to use the brake, it disengages the transmission. Right? So you're in neutral, but...
So you don't have engine braking?
If you use that brake. Or there's a pedal that allows you to engage the brake while it's in gear, but it's way less effective.
Yeah.
At the
very beginning
the pedal
of the
doesn't
day,
do anything.
Matt was like, well, what if we get in a situation like, should we use the brakes? And they were like, no. Yeah, they're like, nah, you should leave it just in gear. And we're like, oh.
And we're like, but what if that's not enough? And they're like, it will be.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And it wasn't.
Uh-oh.
So fortunately, people tend to like notice that you're there when you're in this fucking thing. So we got up to 26 or 27 miles an hour going down this one hill. And fortunately, there was like a runoff at the end. But it was fucking shaking like crazy and like darting all over. It was pretty sketchy.
Man.
Not as sketchy as Mr. John Oates of Daryl Hall and John Oates, who was with us and did our show here yesterday and was telling us about it. He was driving the car that we were originally going to be assigned, and his fucking axle broke.
Ooh.
Well, it started pulling out of like the housing, so
at the diff.
Yeah, exactly. So it had worked itself out as they were going down one of the hills, and they stopped.
It was super sketchy.
One of the people that was like following the group, but part of the group, but they were following it in a new car, were able to drive up next to him and be like, pull over, pull over, pull over, you're gonna die. So after that, he got a ride to lunch.
Yeah. It really causes me anxiety to make the kind of traffic that happened in this bridge. I normally would, we drove the entire route except for this bridge, in the right shoulder, basically.
Yeah. So you're like that too. You hate inconveniencing.
I hate inconveniencing. Yeah. And look, you can see the bridge. There's nowhere to move out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
There's a raised sidewalk that's not even 2 feet wide.
Is it possible to get a zoom in on that?
Not
maybe.
Really?
Does Instagram do that thing where it keeps resizing?
It usually does.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, it's doing it.
With the Pao, when I owned that could take a hill if you had a running start.
Yeah.
But there's a hill near my house where there's a light at the bottom of a hill, like in a valley.
Yeah.
So if I catch that, I know I'm flipping my hazards on. Now, thankfully, it's a 2-lane, people can pass. But never once have I gotten a finger in a Pao holding people up. I just get phones out the window.
Yeah.
I get waves.
I know they're not that powerful, but it's really that slow?
Mine, we put it on a dyno at the wheel.
Yes.
37.
Yeah. Well, they only make an advertised 55 at the crank.
All right.
And yours an auto or manual?
Auto.
Yeah. The manual is apparently, because the auto's a 3-speed,
That's like a
and the
30%
manual is a
loss.
5-speed. The manuals are apparently noticeably quicker.
The carburetor is a 1-barrel, and it's a.
You didn't put Holly on there?
There are people on the POW forums who do say, "Here's the swap, a mechanical one. Get rid of that." If I would have chose to go this route, it would be eliminate that computer-controlled feedback carburetor. Put a manual one on that just has a lever, but then you need to do something because the car does have an ECU that's getting some sort of info, like it's a ColecoVision, and it's figuring something out with its idle. And there's like 2 idle controls. It's very, very strange, and it's insane that you couldn't get the turbo with fuel injection because the same goddamn block.
Yeah, the Figaro has a turbo motor.
It won't fit? It'll fit.
It's the same engine.
No,
it'll fit.
It'll fit.
There are people
They
who
just
do
didn't
those
sell it.
swaps. Yeah.
There's a place called the Figaro shop, I think, in the UK that will sell you a complete Figaro engine swap kit. It's not even expensive. It's like $1,500.
Wow.
And you get a complete Figaro engine
That is not
swap.
expensive.
It's a 1-liter.
Well,
I mean,
this
it's
is like
literally a
super-
1-liter.
like
1 liter force. The engine is good. It has only speakers in the rear. And I look, you'd have to like do some like dumb 90s shit and just kind of have like box speakers somewhere because you do get a tray that runs the length of the car, the front thing.
37 at the wheels is pretty low. That's pretty fucking low.
It's pretty.
I wonder what the Delica would make at the wheels. I mean, it's advertised 87 at the crank, but it's a 4x4.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put
Transfer
on an
case
all-wheel,
in that thing?
yeah, manual transfer case. If you put on an all-wheel drive dyno, I bet it's not making more than fucking 60 at the wheels, maybe even in the 50s. It's fucking slow.
Yeah.
But in the
It's
city,
nice, though.
but in the city, it just doesn't matter. It's totally
I
fine
think
for driving
all the
around
POWs, mine had air conditioning. And I could turn it on at work and it really went slow.
Yeah. The DeLorean, when you turned on the air
Yeah.
conditioning, it sucked the life right out of it. But when I had one of the supercharged minis, like a 2006 John Cooper Works Mini, that was a really nice car. Except when I turned the air conditioning on
a JCW.
dude, it was so bad I dynoed it with the air conditioning on because I was like, something's wrong. I was like, it can't be this bad because of this fucking air conditioning. And I put it on a dyno at Farnbacher Lowell's in Connecticut, and it was 35 horsepower. The air conditioning sucked out of the car.
And
Wow.
what was
Entire POW.
What was it making without the air conditioning?
I mean, it was like, 160 at the wheels without the air conditioning.
On a
Or
JCW?
Yeah. For an 06, it was like 210 at the crank.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why? You think it was more?
I thought like, I'm remembering that
What year
video
was
you
it?
did with like a standing mile or something like that in a JCW.
That was the Zach and I in the Silver State Classic, and that was the second gen. It was a
2012,
turbo one,
2013.
and that was quicker.
Okay.
Yeah. 214. There you go. So so it was like it was like 160, 170 at the wheels.
Okay.
But it lost 30. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I remember losing 35
That's a
horsepower.
lot.
Yeah,
That's
because
a lot.
that engine was like a 1.6 that relied so heavily on the belt-driven supercharger that if you put more strain on the belt,
Wait, that's one big serpentine running. Okay.
it just fucking sucked the life right out of the car. Yeah. One, whatever it was. I think it was a 1.6. It was little. It went.
They sound
It made a great sound. That was the fucking coolest sounding car ever.
Sera doesn't sound too bad either. It growls at you. Oh, this is the one interesting thing about the Sera. Even though it's Paseo base, it doesn't have the Paseo engine. The Sera has the Paseo and the Tercel both have the 5EFE. The Sera has a 5EFHE, which is higher compression.
Oh, cool.
So you get more pop to it. It's not that much horsepower, but it's enough in a car that small that it likes to pull and it flattens out the torque curve.
Oh,
and
cool.
I was also really excited when you had Reggie Watts on because he was talking to how much you like Cyberpunk, and I'm like adding him like I have
Reggie-
this for
yeah,
sale. This
Reggie
is
would
so
love this
you.
car.
I have
this
the
with
best.
a mini disc player.
Yeah, Reggie would love this fucking thing. So what are these things going for?
You can look at we can look at what mine's doing right now.
Is it on
it's
Cars
on
and
Cars
Bids?
and Bids
It's
right
on Cars
now.
and Bids?
Yeah, I was talking. Doug was like, "Yeah, do it," and thank you, Doug. Even though I like busted him on not knowing that manual Seras exist.
Oh, he's okay about that. Is it? Is it 95? There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Let's see.
Currently
$12,400.
Okay.
Whoa.
12
We've got. It ends on Monday.
It looks nice and clean. I see you detailed it for your photo shoot.
Yes, I did.
It has fun. Look at those floor mats. Those things are funky as hell.
Yeah.
Does it have an airbag?
Negative. None of them did.
Those floor mats.
Maybe I think one of
fucking
weird,
rule.
like optional, you can have an airbag. Like all Japanese.
It looks really clean. How many kilometers are on this thing?
I think it's at 44.
44,000 miles.
Miles.
So 70-ish kilometers.
That's like nothing for a Toyota from the 90s.
Shout out to ATL JDM. I said, find me the best one you can, and they did. I'm the first owner in the U.S. for this.
Cool. It's a nice looking little car, man.
The thing I love about they did with the styling is since the rear hatch is all glass, that rear wing that is sitting on top of the glass, and it has a third brake light in it. So the wires for that third brake light run through the glass, and they disguise them as a pinstripe going up the side.
Oh shit!
That's a nice little touch that they didn't have to do, but they did.
Cool. Yeah, and the side windows open down,
like
right?
a DeLorean.
Yeah,
same
okay.
deal.
Is the roof panel glass too?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's a thing. When
You
I was
need
thinking
the
about
AC in
Reggie,
that
like,
thing.
it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Especially in a town where you get all sun all the time.
That's a hot car for California.
My air conditioning does work. It does work,
No,
but
but
you will
still,
need it.
but when you have those little engines, you just don't want to like use the air conditioning that much. It just makes them drive like shit. That was the problem with my DeLorean. Like, the air conditioning worked. It blew cold, but it drove so shitty with it on that I just sucked it up and didn't want to do it. The Countach, fortunately, has enough torque. You know, it has tiny windows and it gets really hot, but it has enough torque that you turn the air conditioning on and it doesn't affect the engine at all. You just you don't even know it's there, which is great because it's got a bunch of fucking
Don't you want to just buy one of these and then park it next to like a wire at a car show that also has all the stuff?
Dude,
open?
this thing robs people at car shows. I parked this next to a guy one time. The final car show I went to with this, I parked next to a guy who has the the tribute to my debt. This is such a mean thing.
It's okay.
He was
he's
a
not
nice
here.
guy, but he had the tribute to my father. Harley Davidson motorcycle, and he then had flags saying of all the wars his dad fought in, this, that, and the other.
I
and
know
I
that
parked
guy.
right next to him, popped the doors, and I ruled that section of the car show.
Wow.
Oh, I like your stickers on the speedometer. Your US stickers.
Yep. Thanks.
See, if it was me, I would not have those. I need plausible deniability, officer.
Okay, you can peel them off. They're just little bits of glow-in-the-dark tape that my calibrated speedometer.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's very functional. Yeah, buy Brian's car. You should. By now, somebody will already have bought it.
Yeah.
But are you? If it sells for the high bid now, will you be happy with that?
Since it's already sold by the time this is coming out, I will be upside down on it. All in, I was $15,001.
Okay.
After importing and everything cost the car.
And how many miles have you put on it, you think?
A couple oil changes, so 3, 6, not maybe about 10,000.
Oh, well, look,
About
if you can own a
10,000.
car for
A
2
year.
or 3 grand over a year, that's
Yeah.
not so bad.
No.
I think you'll get more than that. I think it'll come up from there.
so.
That seems like a nice, clean car.
Let me tell you about
it is.
Vanos Service Kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Zach can tell you about cost of ownership for a vehicle for a year. And if
I mean,
you want to talk
Toyota versus
about it.
BMW, obviously.
Yeah.
One of those is going to win.
Yeah. The-
You okay?
I think I got like an eyelash in there. I'm just like, my eye is weird.
do we have things from the Patreon today? We must have a bunch, right? I imagine the Patreon is pretty active because you guys are here. If you want to ask us questions on the show, if you want to present a topic of conversation, if you want to refill, Brian, fucking go grab one from the bar. You're welcome to. We can.
I want to do good radio.
I mean, I can cut out the pause. Or you
You could cut out the pause,
Or we could.
or we could just continue for fucking 45 seconds while you walk to the bar and back. It's okay.
Very nice.
May I take a pee break?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Just don't kick over the fucking cameras on the way out. If you want to ask us some shit in the show, if you want to get an ad-free listening experience, present a topic or more, patreon.com/The Smoking Tire Podcast is where it's all at. Very affordable prices. Here we go. Michael Cosgrove says, you guys have seen all kinds of different cars in a variety of conditions over the years. Probably takes a lot to surprise you. What has been the most surprising thing you've encountered recently?
All right. So recently, I would say the Dodge Caravan that we did, that was kind of a Lemons Rally Dodge Caravan. That was it was a manual transmission. It was
like a first-gen Caravan.
Yeah. It was one of those things that looked like it came right out of National Lampoon's Vacation type of movie. Where
wood grain, that kind of thing?
Oh no, it was like falling apart visually.
Oh.
But the guy gave it a little mask because it was during the pandemic, and it had like lemons painted on it. My buddy Brad's school bus is up there.
I saw
too.
you drove a school bus. That sounds fun.
That was fascinating. He's since
got
sold
260,000 views on the fucking school bus, by the way. That's pretty good. Oh, there's the Caravan.
Yeah.
It's second gen. Yeah, 94.
It's lovely. And that was kind of thrilling. And it's funny because it's in between like a McLaren and a Tesla, and yet I'm singling out the Caravan. But
but it had the most views.
Yeah,
it had more views than the McLaren or the Tesla.
I mean, people love shit boxes, and shit boxes are evergreen. And that's the thing about it. It's something that is very unique in style, very unique in performance. And I mean, granted, yes, there are any number of things that you can get that are better, but at the end of the day, you want something that is kind of unmistakably you, unmistakably yours, that type of deal.
You know how long it's been since I've seen one of those second-gen Caravans in any kind of decent condition? I mean, they don't exist.
They don't really exist.
Yeah.
The school bus was interesting. Shout out to my buddy Brad, whose podcast is Bard of All Trades on YouTube.
Was there anything like done? Was it converted to be a camper or something? Or was it just pure school bus?
Oh, he did a lot of different modifications to make it a camper in its own fashion. The video goes into extensive detail about it. It's something that is very much in the same vein as just your regular standard traditional school bus, but modified in such a way that you can actually, I was going to say modified in a way that where you can actually get more out of it than a school bus, but at the end of the day, you're still... Like the gas bill on that thing is ridiculous.
I've seen a couple of the van life Instagrams or whatever where people are doing some pretty dope shit with retired school buses. Actually, I've seen some. Yeah.
Did you tell a story how he had to go to like an Amish shop that had the right tire set up and who could change the tires for him?
No, I didn't mention that. That was.
Is it hard to find school bus tires? Or is it hard to get them physically mounted?
I think that was it, getting them physically, because you can order anything online.
Don't the Amish travel by horse and buggy?
Well, there are various levels of Super Saiyan when it comes to the Mennonite community in Pennsylvania. So
it's like if you're getting 50 of them somewhere at once, you're allowed to have a bus or something like that.
They have funky rules, like they can use power tools, but they're all air powered. Oh. And there's a little bit of, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but they have their own rules that are similar to a Shabbat's Goy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Hasidim, they can't do things on Shabbos except like there's some fucking real loopholes to it, which is it's funny to kind of choose to live by that code and then find loopholes.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So the question was anything that really jumped out as you as being surprising in your recent batch of videos, and Nick suggested the manual transmission Dodge Caravan and the school bus.
The Lotus Evora GT.
They're great.
Whenever like find out, it's like, oh, you're a YouTube car buyer. Like, what's the best car you've ever bought? My dick, because I like Miller High Life. That's the champagne of beers. You come over my house, we'll crack a back. The little wife who's going to play bingo. And you got Tucker Carlson's on, so we get to do this. You know, my dick don't work no more. So
I got a challenge.
Yeah. so yeah, and I'm like, all right, all things, because MR2 for me will be the best thing ever, and they're never. Every now and again they say there's going to be there'll be a 4th gen sometime, but I think The Lotus Evora GT is probably the 4th gen that everybody wanted. If you really are like it,
or the continuation of the NSX. If you wanted that kind of vibe too, yeah.
The Evora GT.
Very good car.
And then I want to say like that neon that the Highline neon that the guy did some work to, but that's all rose-colored 90s glasses of driving back. And it's my whole love-hate relationship with Doge that, you can do good shit if you try. Why do you don't? And I said it in the video because I used to become a teacher when you have a student that can really do good work, but then they just...
Yeah.
I don't. I'm keeping it real, or whatever. Like you could be so much more than what you are, and then you're fucking shitting out calibers. We still haven't done a Chrysler 200, and I am.
No, you are missing out on.
Forgot about that car.
I met a guy who leased one.
That's a very disappointing car. Yeah, people went and bought those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Dart too.
I drove an Ioniq 5 2 days ago because my buddy flew up from Orlando.
The electric thing?
Yeah,
they're cool, aren't
EVs.
they? Yeah.
It's like Tesla, and you're not a dick. It's body panels line up and shit.
Yeah.
And they haven't done this very specific thing that I saw because my buddy bought a 2020. He bought a car a few months ago, a 2022 Tundra Limited. Mm-hmm. And he's noticing that the new kind of one-upmanship is how big of a screen can we put in.
Oh, yeah.
So Toyota's got a big one, but the Ioniq 5 doesn't. It's just two reasonably sized.
Well, that's the other one they're doing is the panoramic. The panoramic one, yeah. But the Ram has like the giant tablet. And, my Ford does as well.
Yeah.
My Mach-E, it's a big tablet.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sean Gallagher says, "Why English as a major?"
Because I'm a fucking moron. It's not. It's something along the lines of just having these desires for a creative outlet and finding that, because writing was the only thing I was ever good at.
Same.
It was the only skill that I ever had that was worth a damn. And I wanted to kind of maybe go into teaching, but the God's honest truth is I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was literally a moron who didn't know what you're supposed to do once you get to college, how you're supposed to do it. And so I'm just like, sure, English, because it's like, it's a jack of all trades type of major.
Yeah.
But also because I love writing, I love reading. I enjoyed all of my classes, and I did well because it was something that was engaging with me. And then finding a creative outlet afterwards was the hard part. And finding an outlet in which to use that degree was hard because, getting your certification in Pennsylvania for teaching, you got to jump through all sorts of hoops. Mm-hmm. And it could take a long time. And I mean, thankfully, I did a lot of freelance writing gigs, but they were hard to come by. And then this happened, and it was essentially, there is not a day that goes by where I'm not thankful for, I don't need to be more successful than this. I'm perfectly...
You get to do the thing.
I get to be a writer and make my living as a writer, and it's something where, I had the dream, but I never actually thought I would get to do it.
You guys ever think about writing a book?
Yes.
That could be fun.
That could be fun.
I think it could be fun. I would read a regular car reviews book.
Thank you, Matt.
I would. I think it'd be fun.
Thank you.
I've been trying to read less
you.
on the internet and more on paper.
Same.
And I think it's been going okay, but I would read a regular car reviews book. I think it'd be fun. I can't wait to read Alanis's Rich Energy book. I think it's going to be fucking hilarious.
Alanis King?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she was coming out with a book.
And Elizabeth Blackstock. They wrote a book on the Rich Energy Haas Formula One team saga. You heard about this?
No.
This fucking lunatic guy came up with this energy drink brand out of nowhere called Rich Energy, and he stole this mountain bike company's logo, and he just private labeled the fucking drink, and he went and sponsored Haas Formula One team, saying he had all this money that he didn't have, and it was a complete shit show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And so they wrote a book about this, and it's coming out in September.
I gotta read that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
Zach and I are in it because I hypothesized on Twitter that it was just private labeled Red Bull, and I happened to have 4 cans of it, so we did a blind taste test.
Nice.
And it's not. It's private label garbage from fucking China, but it's not Red Bull.
Nice.
Spoiler alert.
Oh dear.
But fuck, is it close?
But it is very, it's very, very close. In fact, you have to put ice in it or refrigerate it at room temperature. It tastes indistinguishable from Red Bull. If you refrigerate it, they taste a little
Pepsi
different.
and Coke taste more different.
Yeah. It's fucking garbage, but it's funny.
Thanks for all this water. I appreciate it.
No problem.
It's precious.
We got tons of it.
You're welcome.
Let's see. We already talked about the car giveaways. Yep. Andre says, next time you make it to New Zealand, what kind of cars are you most interested in driving? We didn't do any.
I didn't do any.
No.
No. I got some high tuner stuff and fast stuff, and of course Toyota Century, lovely.
Centuries are going to be legal next year. V12 Century.
Well,
the Century is legal to import now. The V12 is legal next year.
Yeah.
I would marry that car.
They're fucking cool, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Wool seats. Why are we not doing this? Why are we
Isn't
not
it
doing
weird that
Yeah.
other cultures, in not just Japan but Europe as well, have cloth interiors and of all different kinds in the high-end luxury cars?
Why are we not doing
Yeah, you can
that?
get S classes and 7 Series
blame the
BMW
King
with
Ranch.
cloth.
Fucking King Ranch. I'll be a rancher. I'll live in a row home. And Percy
You know
doesn't
how
have
many
row
King
homes.
Ranches I see parked in front of fucking trailers, and when I'm in Texas, man, look, you can apply this to Los Angeles. There's fucking shitty 1-bedroom apartments with Maserati Ghiblis parked in the
Okay.
fucking bay outside
Okay.
here, and in Texas, it's your $85,000 pickup truck. And parked in front of a trailer. We could play that game virtually. In Pennsylvania, what is the combo of best
Shitty house.
shitty house to flashiest car?
Okay, going straight. Oh, okay. So this is gonna be a row home. I'm gonna pick on a normal town. I'm sorry, Tamaqua, but it's gonna be a house in Tamaqua with. Or the other side of Jim Thorpe, not the touristy side, where everybody from Manhattan and Williamsburg and all that stuff, because that's like Jim Thorpe is like a straight shot right across. So all the
Is that a place? It's a person, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also a place.
Really?
You didn't know the story of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Okay, so it used to be called Mock Chunk.
Is that like Chevy Chase, Maryland?
Yeah.
Well, it's not named after the man.
Who came
No, it
first?
literally is named after the athlete, because this town's mayor had this crazy idea to buy Jim Thorpe's remains and then bury it in this town and then tribute the town to his name, and we're gonna go on the map. So it's formerly Mock Chunk, Pennsylvania, now Jim Thorpe. It's a very nice. It has a little touristy stripped area. It's a little slice of
fucking crazy.
I took my girlfriend for her birthday to Jim Thorpe, and it was a delightful experience. But I also understand exactly the stereotype you're talking about, because there is the very nice.
So what are these fools driving?
Section.
Commons.
What is it?
It's just shitbox Cummins.
Oh,
You know,
Cummins.
they
Yeah,
got name your political stickers on the back. I devoted myself to the Orange Man, and when he lost, my life turned. A lot of people in rural Pennsylvania, they did not handle that well.
Yeah.
And the real
One might
person-
say they were triggered.
a little bit. A little bit. And the real winner on this is the guy who made that flag. Don't blame me. I voted for.
Oh, yeah.
Blank.
Whoever's making those signs and making counterfeits,
Lot
I'm
of
sure
China.
there's original,
Yeah.
real ones. Those
Yeah.
are the real winners selling that shit.
In a gold rush, sell pickaxes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
The merch guys.
It's the Dodge Cummins. All the wheel arches are just rusted out.
yeah.
He drives around with his eBay or Walmart light bar on in the daytime, and
And
Just so you know, he has it right. 'Cause you
and
would notice
chrome
it off.
wheels from 2002.
yeah, the
Pitted.
back catalog of Summit Racing.
Pitted, yeah.
Yeah.
That tubular chrome step on the side, also pitted.
Punisher American flag sticker.
Punisher American flag.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I see that everything. We gotta throw in a Monster Energy drink.
Monster,
Yes.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Delicious.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dodge
All right.
the
Sorry, Jim Thorpe. Christian says, is the EK Civic hatchback the ultimate beginner enthusiast car?
Why do you want
for
the
someone
ultimate?
getting into Japanese cars? I mean,
Do you want me to say that that's the best car for you?
Well, look, he also says it needs to be under $5,000. For $5,000, you're not getting the ultimate of anything.
No.
I'm gonna go take my pee break.
Go ahead.
But also Toyota Corolla. I don't know.
Yeah, a manual Corolla.
For $5,000, you gotta, condition really comes into play.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what this thing was when it was new. It matters what it is fucking now. So like, there's a lot of options for cheap Japanese cars that are fun to beat the snot out of.
Yeah.
Miatas, Corollas.
Miata's getting too high. I'm still
$5,000's not getting you a great one.
In Tennessee, I saw so many Miatas that were super ratty looking.
Yeah.
Different colored body panels, crazy seats. People were ripping them up and down the canyon. Like, there was a lot of who gives a fuck, it's fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it doesn't need to be the fucking hatchback. Like,
no, that would be more expensive
the
than
sedan.
the
drives the
Club.
same. Like,
I bet the hatchback will be more expensive than a sedan.
Probably.
It's more sought after.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun, though. They are fun. Double wishbone suspension, revvy-ass motor. I mean, I don't know what 5K gets you in terms of EKs, but not much.
It'd be rough now.
Not much.
I drove a good one, but it was 5 years ago. And
Yeah.
that was, $3,500.
We covered we got while you're doing giveaways. We got William F. Kraft loves your new reviews. Excited for vacation seasons in the future.
I can't wait. It's over for me when I get to fly to Sydney, walk directly out of the airport and directly into the ocean. Whenever Americans can fly to Australia and not have to submit a book report along.
Can we go to Australia yet?
I don't know.
I don't know if we can or not.
There was
we
a
can't go to
period
New
where
Zealand, can we?
I don't know.
I want to go back to
ask,
New Zealand.
Andrew and Caswell, or the guys from Automation.
Yeah,
I still talk to them. They're cool.
They are cool. Australia trip level 4, do not travel.
All right. All right, so
January.
we can't
Yeah.
Prashant says, Mr. Regular, I'm an Indian man who wears mostly 70s colored clothing. Am I peak brown?
go. You need an AMC ambassador. That's what you need. The brownest car that ever browned, because it has the whole car is like, it's the brownest car because it has all the shades of brown.
Like 7 brown tones at once.
Oh, the guy, again, taking your advice, hiring someone to do editing. It was like you had a conversation with Doug that he did editing for like way longer than he should have.
Yeah, he didn't value his time properly.
Yeah.
And
So
then
now-
he told us how we fucked up.
Put a human in the center card. Oh.
That is very brown.
So one of the guys I hire to, like, I still edit the majority of RCR, but it's not hard to replicate my style. And Joe Ligo, shout out to his YouTube channel, Auto Moments. He has a great documentary on the AMC Pacer and what it could have been, but he owns an AMC Ambassador, and I reviewed it, and it has all the brown, all different kinds of brown. It has different colors, all brown.
It's fucking not a good looking car.
It's a V8. It's the slowest V8 I've ever driven.
They took so many styling points from other cars, but they assembled them poorly.
Yeah.
It's like GTO headlights, and that's all they took of the GTO.
It had
it's
something
so
unique
bad.
in that it was, but Nick knows AMC better
That's
than
a
I do. It's
67?
something like, it may have been the first car in history to have air conditioning as standard or something weird. Like
the
that
AMC Ambassador. Give me a factoid, Nick.
Oh, brain fart. Funny thing. As soon as I'm done making a video, I almost like dump everything about it knowledge-wise. It's like finishing a TV show and then immediately moving on to the next one, and you forget everything about
Totally.
the show
We
you
drove
just
a
That
watched.
Scorpio
happened.
Elantra today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
when I was
I'm-
driving people's random cars, that exactly happened to me. I couldn't remember a fucking thing about them. Now that I drive the cars for a week, it helps. Now I remember more.
To answer another guy's question, another reason I do the giveaways is because it's so hard for regular car reviews to get press cars because I'm just talking about my dick all the time. And they're like, yeah, so this is a way for me to have a car for a month.
Yeah.
To have a sort of a long-termer and to really get into the weeds with this thing. And then I just drive it back to Justin Burnash and he takes care of the giveaways
I
and he has
didn't
another
actually
one
think
for me.
about that. That makes
and
sense.
I drive it back.
That makes sense. Yeah. Let's see. That's interesting.
Casey, my answer is no. No, don't do that. No.
Casey's don't build a K24
Not
MR2
the Spider.
Spider.
No.
Why?
The money you put into that is not going to equal the horsepower you get out of it.
Fair.
That is so much of a problem. And also the 2ZZ. Don't ever do the 2ZZ unless you're buying someone that already has the 2ZZ swap in it. Because you're only getting like 34 more horsepower. And with the 1ZZ to the 2ZZ, the transmission, the power band is so narrow the second you shift, you're out of it. It's
that's
stupid.
annoying. Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I'm going to do K-swap in my MR2. It's like, as we talked about it before, the prime ones, or if you could find a prime one, just pay for that. The K-swap, the great thing about the 3rd gen MR2, because I'm a whore for MR2s. I love them. It is great how it is, because it's a Corolla engine. Shift the ever-loving shit out of it. Don't care about it. It won't do anything.
Yeah.
And now you're introducing complexity that doesn't need to be there.
Fair. Jesus, really makes you fucking angry. Jack Riley says each of you is on death row and you get to pick your final meal before your execution. What are you eating? Final beverage
That's a
pairing
weird
too.
question.
Chili's
weird-
bottomless chips and salsa.
Yeah.
Then I can't die.
I actually love this topic, not just because it has to do with food, but because I've actually looked into last meal type, the history of the last meal type thing. And there was a guy in Texas who ordered this impossible last meal, like all these pizzas, all this chicken, all these different sides. And then when the time came, he was like, I'm not really that hungry.
That's funny.
And so they like
That's a good
decided
last meal troll.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna
they're-
fucking kill you. Oh god
yeah,
damn it.
and then they decided never to do last meals for anyone again. So fucked it up for everybody.
So
but-
they don't do that anymore?
not in Texas, I don't think.
Fucking Texas, man.
Yeah,
Damn.
but it's I don't know. I've never actually considered what mine would be, and I would imagine it would probably be a breakfast for dinner type thing.
What would make me, the second I died, just shit everywhere and leave it for someone else to clean up?
Sheets burrito.
I would like
One
Sheets
last
burrito
Sheets
and a
burrito.
pot of coffee.
Sheets burrito. You can get a Sheets burrito in Pennsylvania, and they'll put tater tots in it. So
That's good.
yeah,
I know
Give
if
me
I- if
all
I'm
the
with a
apple juice you have in the county.
yeah.
bloomin' onion and a Foster's.
Yeah.
5 kinds of chili, please. Let them come big.
Shout out to Seaside Cabaret in New Zealand. Their banana pancakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
remember that. How about that?
man, they do a killer flat white.
Let's see. Joe says best road tripper that's 4x4 and doesn't get shit gas mileage.
Jeez, you want everything, don't you?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Okay.
There you go.
Or
Thank you, Zach.
or like a Forester or something.
Yeah, exactly that.
Foresters are coming up. People all of a sudden give a shit about Foresters, or they can't get new ones.
Give
Yeah, the
them time.
XT, the little turbo, the
Yeah.
turbo one, 2nd gen.
Yeah. Those
are cool.
Great.
Man, good show, guys.
Thank
That
you.
is, I had a lot of fun. I
glad
like
you
just
guys make
sitting
it
back
down.
and watching you guys commiserate, because for me, it's very much like being around. I don't have a lot of guy friends, and so I just like hanging around guys being guys.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should write this book, I think.
We probably should.
What would you like to hear about?
I mean, you could literally just like write the book of regular, like you could write basically video scripts.
That's true.
But in
That's what I
book-
was thinking.
in book
Because you guys
form.
provide a lot of context and history about each car, but you do it in a way that's very funny, accurate, and concise.
Thank you.
So you could do like 1 page, Chrysler LeBaron or whatever the fuck it is, and it's just like
It could be like
short.
a most
Each one
regular
can be
of like what are the most like the 100 most average cars ever fucking made
and
or
then you
something
do a
like
tear
that.
off calendar, 365. Like
Well, I
Farsight.
mean, like it's. I have.
merchandise.
Zach, that ain't no hat rack. That is good idea. That is a good idea.
That ain't no.
I can't take credit.
I've never heard that before.
That's like a 1930s.
And is a hat rack bad? What does that
Is that
mean?
right?
Well,
What does it fucking mean?
The old insult from like early 1900s.
Of course it is.
Hat rack.
No, I imagine when someone invented the hat
That
rack,
ain't
they're
no
like,
hat rack. That's a good idea.
like, holy shit. But I actually have a video, if I don't shit the bed on the editing, where at the end of this month, April, where it's about the history, the life and death of Saab, which is
yeah.
another like entry in my life and death of automotive brand that is dead series. And that thing is, it's going to be like a 4-hour video. So the script is already like half a book already. And it's one of those things where I theoretically would love to do that type of thing, but I feel like the journalistic standard to which it would be held would be different, because then you become this person who gets cited in papers, presumably. I imagine that's how it works with books. Of
course.
Although I imagine that's also how it works with Wikipedia, because, undergrads. But it's something where I have a lot.
Good one.
I have a lot of fun making those things, but they're also, they really test your ability to absorb and retain knowledge for over long periods of time, because there's only so much that I can store in there while also co-writing a weekly video. And so I end up getting my wires crossed. And so if we were to do like a book on something, I would theoretically like it to be closer to the thing we just do every week anyway, just because it's something where it's so much of ourselves being placed into the cars that we review.
Well, you could fucking do that. I mean, there's comics write books that are basically just stories from their lives. Judd Apatow just made a book that's just the transcriptions of him talking to people. I mean, you guys could just make a book that was the fucking scripts, basically. I mean, they could even be scripts of videos you've already done. Like there's like all that content like there. You could refine and add or subtract or whatever.
Put it on a coffee table, and then someone doesn't have to like pull up the YouTube video. They just read like, "Wow, this is really funny," and someone
coffee table book.
Boring cars, most regular cars. I don't want people to steal these ideas.
This is the copyright, the record of it.
The poor man's copyright.
The poor man's copyright is happening right now.
I mean,
in real time.
It's one of those books that's just, or one of those properties that's just blank this blank, like steal this movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, sell these cars or.
We'll figure it out.
Take a shit inside these cars.
There will be recommendations for titles in the comments. I
trust.
I assure you. Regular car reviews on YouTube. Go subscribe.
Thank you, man.
Click the alarm bell.
Thank you so much.
Get all the notifications. I can't wait to see fucking Brian make the YouTuber face. Let me see can we see your YouTuber face? Hey, there it is. That's a good one.
I really think that, like, just as a gag, you should bring back Stan the Man reacts.
Stan the Man.
Just for the thumbnail, and he's never mentioned in the video.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I think I still have
Brand.
those old tank tops. I should just write brand that I wrote brand on. That's in the photo on the website.
Just write like YouTuber face. On the fucking tank top.
Dude, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I wrote a shitty YouTuber character, not thinking like he was actually going to do it, and then I'm like, hey, look at this like shitty YouTuber script that I wrote of just like here's what a YouTuber
I bet you
would
it
say.
does millions of views.
No, he took it in like a direction I wasn't expecting, which is like the genius part of like having someone who intrinsically gets
Has no bottom to like there is no depth he won't sink for another dollar is Stan the Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's just like everybody.
Yeah. No, that's Stan the Man, right? He's
Brand.
Stan the Man reacts. And it's a hypothetical react channel.
You sell that tank top for the car giveaway.
Oh, I already put it on eBay.
Oh no! I know. Like you should make a run of them.
Oh shit! That just looks like it said
It just looks like that in handwriting. Yeah. See, you need me to be a merch guy.
We will invoice you for consulting.
Yes. Copyright. Poor man's copyrights.
Poor
It's
man's
Los
copyright.
Angeles. I get 5% of that book.
Go buy some of that merch.
Yeah.
Get you're giving away a Pontiac GTO.
GTO 500 horsepower.
But not before.
It's a 06.
After this show gets out, right?
Yeah.
People
It
hear
should
this
be like
and then-
either I'm scooping myself or it's already because we run the giveaway for a week.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Go get yourself a fucking Pontiac GTO.
Yeah, we got a fucking mail truck coming out on Monday.
Do you?
Yeah.
We did an LLV.
Rum and
and I-
LLV.
And I start like this is something that Doug can't do and never did because you can't buy these things. And I found one you can buy.
Yeah.
Where is you're not giving this fucking thing?
Oh,
away.
no.
No, this is an owner's card.
Oh,
Like
really?
you can't buy.
What do they do with it?
Well, this guy is from Seattle, and like this is his thing. That he is a guy who drives a Grumman LLV as a thing.
He's cosplaying as a mailman.
Oh, that's a federal crime.
That's a federal crime, so he does
You
not do that.
cannot-
Well, you've seen the guys who do the chippies, right?
What's that?
The guys who dress kind of like California Highway Patrol and they
No.
ride the retired
They
bikes.
dress
No.
so close to police officers.
Yeah.
It is not cool.
Like they
And I say that
make
as a crime
themselves
victim.
and their motorcycles look awfully close to CHP.
Are
they
they,
they
wearing
buy-
like vests
Yes.
and like the
Yeah.
clothes and
Yeah.
the
like
boots?
tan shirts,
Yeah.
boots. They just don't have badges on them, but
Yeah.
they'll have the gold helmet.
Yeah.
Why
Whole
not
shit.
why not just devote your energy to being a successful person and instead of just cosplaying as someone who has a pension?
Oh,
Very good. It's like stolen valor, but no one gets
Right.
mad at you.
It's like the guys who try to get into public buildings by having a high vis vest and a ladder.
Yeah.
It's like that's just someone who has a job. That's your goal. To look like that.
This house in my neighborhood got robbed by people who were all wearing high vis vests.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. The camera, they on the video was on next door, and everyone was just fucking going right through that bitch in orange vests. Yeah, it was because it was it was a house was under renovation. It was a construction
that's a
site,
good disguise.
and they were stealing tools and shit. Yeah,
Oh, man.
it worked. It worked perfectly. It was. I'm almost doing crime school right now. Thanks, guys. Enjoy
you,
your
Matt, for having
sunshine
me. Thank you so much.
in LA. I'm so glad you came to visit.
It is always a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great weekend. Come for a fucking. We're going up the mountain tomorrow in the
Sweet.
Cayman GT4 RS.
Nice.
Gets me fucking hard. That thing. That's our show, folks. I am going to fucking Cabo next week, so I'm not doing any shows. My wife and I need a vacation, and we'll be back with a cruise show next Friday. Thanks you for the Patreon's dollars. We really appreciate it. Goodbye.